Hey, and welcome to the Shave Tank and another episode of Shave the Movie. But I also got a viewer question and I want to address this first before we get to the movie and to the shaving. And the viewer question actually was, can I take off a few days of beard growth, so more than your 2 or 3 day beard, with a safety razor, or should I first do with a clipper or something like that? Well, my answer is approximately 4 to 5 days growth is the maximum I would go with a safety razor. And as you can see, I have about 4.5 or 5 days growth here. And yeah, I'm gonna try to shave this off with a safety razor. And I'm gonna show you how I go about this. Of course, first I already had a hot shower, hot towel, and I used Phoenix Artisans pre-shave soap. And while Douglas recommended that before shaving apply the soap again and leave it in, I found that it actually works better if I use the pre-shave jelly before shaving instead of the soap. So we're gonna apply a little bit of that. Still have a little here in the cup. I'm gonna use that. And it gives a nice menthol kick. Really like that. Mentholated pre-shave jelly here. Really cool. Might be a tough one on the neck here with 5 days growth. Let's see. And then, of course, we let it sink in for a minute. Of course, use a little more aggressive razor helps in trimming that longer beard. So you should be someone who is familiar and able to handle a little bit of more aggression. And key is, with the aggressive razor, still, if your beard is long, no pressure. I'm gonna use the Razor Rock Slab with the bamboo handle from Icon, and of course a new blade for long beards. I have a new Persona Blue in there, so I get the right cutting angle on this. Gonna take this, and we're going to use the Van Ulay Wind Talker, because I like that very much, and my Crown King brush. So that's the setup we're going to use. And now we get into the movie. And the movie is actually in the cinemas for quite some time now. And there was a lot of controversy about the movie. And I'm talking about Batman v Superman. And I didn't go into the movie expecting much because critiques were not that good. Before the movie it was hyped really high, and then, well, critiques rock bottomed the whole thing. And it took me a while to get into the movie because I don't like it's here in Austria, to watch the synchronized version. I really like to watch the original versions, so in English. And I had to wait a little bit until there's a showing in a cinema that shows the original and not the synchronized version. So I get it in its intended format in the original language. And I went into the movie with no expectations. I just have some time to kill and let's check out this movie and what's it all about, and if it's really that bad. And to my surprise, I actually really enjoyed this movie. And so I got onto the internet and was reading up a little bit on the complaints that people have with the movie. And the one that struck me the most was Batman. Now people say the Batman in the movie, Batfleck, wasn't that great. The performance was okay, but Batman does kill people in this movie. Spoilers ahead, by the way. This is a spoiler review. Switch off if you don't like spoilers. And, well, yeah, Batman does kill people. And comic book readers actually should know he does in the comics. I mean, this is not the young Batman from the Golden Age comics. This is a seasoned veteran Batman that's fed up with some stuff. And he does kill people. I mean, nobody cared when Tim Burton's Batman killed people, and he killed a lot too. So, don't know what the hell is going on now. So that was funny for me. And then the next thing I have to say, I don't like Ben Affleck, or didn't like Ben Affleck. Hated Daredevil, the Ben Affleck Daredevil. Love the series. And I have to say, this was the best Batman I've ever seen on film. Because it was an awesome Batman. It was an awesome Bruce Wayne performance. So it all came together. Like, Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne so far. And the Dark Knight trilogy showed us a really cool Batman. But an action Batman, not a detective, not a grumpy Batman, an action Batman. And this actually has both. It has a really cool Batman that actually does some real detective work, even as Bruce Wayne. He's really cool in his setup. I mean, he has lost people. Obviously, he has lost at least one Robin. And this is the finest Batman I've ever seen. And then people say, well, he does use guns. Hell yeah. Why shouldn't he? So, really, really awesome Batman. And they said that, well, the Batman performance fights are off. Just because he doesn't stick to style. I mean, the Dark Knight styles with this MMA background and everything. I mean, this is the first Batman that actually turns his head during a fight. Or uses really sneaky tactics that a bat should use. Like breaking through a wall. I mean, that Batman warehouse fight at the end is damn the best Batman fight I've ever seen on screen, including the Dark Knight trilogy. It was awesome. And you can see most of the long beard has vanished. So, round 2. So, I'm really liking this Batman. Don't know why other people don't like it. Or kinda don't like it. I think it's awesome. And I can't wait for a solo Batman movie now with Batfleck. The next thing people complain about is, well, Superman. He's nowhere near the Superman we see in the comics, the always positive guy and everything. But in the comic, we often take shortcuts from the upbringing. And this Superman still isn't the finished package. I mean, he obviously has issues still. And I think this is actually cool. This makes Superman much more vulnerable. And let's face it, usually Superman, I mean, this guy is Superman. He can do pretty much everything. So where should you make him vulnerable? Yeah, he has this magic stuff and big monsters, but his emotions are so much more interesting to go into. I think that played out really well. I really like that plot around him. And I think Henry Cavill does a great job performing. So, and yeah, some people say, yeah, he's indestructible. Of course, he's Superman, and yeah, I don't get it. Actually, I really liked it. The best Superman comic I've read, or my most favorite, is actually Death of Superman, and this has a lot of parts from it, I think. So yeah, I really like that. And so Superman, I had no issues with Superman in this movie. He didn't get as much screen time as Batman, I think, at least. At least it felt like it, but that was okay with me, because I love Batman. I also love that there was no other guys involved, like 17 Avengers that only get 5 seconds of screen time. Another comic book brand. So that's a little bit harder to balance. I think this is actually pretty good, balancing wise. And the way that they didn't include Wonder Woman that much, and just for short periods of time, I think actually made the movie better. And then people said, well, but Wonder Woman had too low screen time. She deserves more. I mean, she gets a solo movie. And this movie is called Batman v Superman. So it's good to have her, yeah? It was awesome to see her. But I didn't expect more, and I actually think she got really cool screen time when she was interacting with Bruce Wayne. I think it was really nice played. And then people complain in the end fight they didn't work together. And these are people that, at least for a few of them, are the first time together on the battlefield. And every one of you that played team sports should know that when you get into a team as a single player, the team will show you what you should do, and the team will carry you. But if you come into a team, like when it's an all-star team, or the team is starting new and fresh, they come together for the first time, everyone has their own fighting or playing style, and they do the things, then often these teams underperform and don't play together well. Especially if they had no training time together. So I actually think that the end fight was really good in that regard. Because it felt like they didn't work together, and that was a good thing. Because they shouldn't. they've never fighted alongside before. So, didn't get that drift. And while the end fight wasn't the best in the world, with this huge monster that looked like a mega orc or something, didn't like the monster that much. I expected more of a Superman style monster than a current super ogre troll version of something. Cold mountain water is the best. Then, yeah, I don't know. This wasn't too good, but yeah, was still a good end fight. And also the closing scenes, I really like it that they set it up that Batman would bring together the Justice League, because it raises him out of this grumpiness and into a new task. And I think Batman makes a better leader of the Justice League than Superman ever would, because he has loads of experience. So, what aftershave am I going to go with? And by the way, very, very smooth. No problem here. Shaving off the 5 days beard. As I said, no pressure, just do it. Go along with it, no problem. And I'm gonna go with fine L'Orange Noir. Feels like the right choice today. Very nice. Really love that scent. So, could the movie have been better? Yes, of course. It wasn't like the genius movie of movies or something like that. Lex Luthor honestly could have been a little better. It was too much, think of Jesse Eisenberg's mentality in there, and or his Zuckerberg performance. I would have loved a little more less quirky, more aggressive approach of Lex Luthor, like we see on the comics sometimes when he becomes Brainiac and stuff like that. That's actually more exciting, I think. And as I said, the monster could have been better, and yes, some shots could have been better, and some fighting between Batman and Superman could have been played out a little different. And I would have liked if Batman would have been under more pressure when fighting Superman. Yeah, but aside from that, I think it was a good, exciting movie, and it was fun for me to watch. Was it the best movie ever? No, but it certainly was better than some of the Marvel movies. I know I'm gonna get heat for that. And do not get me wrong, I loved, for example, the Avengers, all of them. Even though the second was not as good, I think it's better than this Batman v Superman. And I loved, for example, Thor Ragnarok. Not Ragnarok, the Dark World, was it? Dark World was a good comic book movie for me. Yeah, didn't like the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Mans that much. Even though the first one was okay, I think it was worse than this Batman v Superman. Iron Man 2 was a grave, I'm sorry. 3 was okay again. Not as good, I think, but was okay. Iron Man 2 was, yeah, didn't care much for that. Captain America 1, nah. Captain America 2 was awesome. I mean, the Captain America and Captain America 2 was really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to the new Captain America that starts here in Austria next week. So I'm hoping to catch that, and maybe we'll do another Shave the Movie. But so far, I would give this movie 7 out of 10. Batman v Superman gets 7 out of 10 from me. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Shave the Movie, and seeing me shave off 4.5 or 5 days of beard growth and be perfectly smooth again for work. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope I see you on the next Shave the Movie. Let's all high five, and I see you soon.